What is going on, YouTube? This is MotoSarge signing in, and in today's video we're going to be doing a test ride of the Harley Davidson Iron 1200. So let's roll that intro and get on with today's video.
Hard work, banging on the doors in the morning. Hard work, work up, and let's go to work. Hard work, hard work. You pack up the shoes. Hard work, hard work. You know.
All right, welcome back, guys. Back here at Fort Benning Harley Davidson with my buddy Rev again. And today we're going to be going over this Iron 1200.
This bike, particularly why I wanted to show you this, is because it is a very popular bike. It's just kind of proven across the boards to be just an excellent bike. Whether you're a beginner or somebody who's been riding forever, I have plenty of buddies who swear by Sportsters and have been riding them and have many of them because they're just excellent bikes. This is an Evolution air-cooled engine. That's what's in this bad boy right here.
You're about 6 foot?
Yeah, about 6'2".
All right.
So these bars make it nice, and I think you kind of set up a little bit more straight on these bikes. Of course, with the Iron 1200, we do have that nice and stylish mini fairing there too. We have roughly 10-inch mini apes is what we like to call them. Now the tank is a throwback 70s inspired style tank. So getting pretty retro with that color scheme with the pattern, which is really sweet too. We got a 16-inch on the back. We got a 19-inch wheel on the front. With this bike, you're looking at 48 miles to the gallon, 3.3 gallon tank. So it is a smaller tank. And people always ask, I figured I'd tell you, this right here is actually our oil. That's the one thing, funny enough, on this bike, that's what people always point like,
Does it have a separate gas tank?
Right. So funny enough, I didn't know when I first, started kind of looking into them. This is a 2020. This is a vivid black with a little bit of that retro style with a red, white, blue thrown in. Of course, a little America in there, which is really nice too.
Oh yeah.
But sweet bike, like I said, whether you're a beginner or a pro, awesome bike for tripping around. And if you want to take it on a long haul, hey, do whatever you want, because that's what motorcycle riding is all about. It's all about you. It's all about being comfy on your bike and loving to ride. So, come see me Rev here, Fort Benning Harley. Follow this man because he's got some sweet things coming at you.
Go ride it now, I guess.
Dude, of course.
Let's go have some fun. All
Yeah,
right,
man.
Appreciate it. All right, welcome to the test ride portion of today's video of the 2020 Harley Davidson Iron 1200. This bike seems like a really cool bike for like an in and around city type riding, bar hopping, or juice bar hopping, whatever you're into, I guess. But it seems like it would be a lot of fun to take through a city. So I'm gonna head on up here to the interstate. We're gonna cut down and ride most of this test ride video in downtown Columbus. This bike is plenty capable to do some, interstate long distance rides. I mean, you do get beat up a little bit just because the simplicity of this bike. You don't have much wind protection other than this little fairing up here that does its job. So I mean, if it is something that you want to do, if you have an Iron 1200, I know you could probably throw down plenty of miles on this thing. It's just, for what I think this bike is best for, is right here in and around city. Like, see how easy that like this bike, I'm just like throwing it all around. I feel like I'm back on a dirt bike, man, and getting ready to like go send it off of like a triple or something, although I was never good at that, so probably wouldn't want to do it on this bike. But like this, like through city riding, bouncing around from restaurant to restaurant or bar to bar, or just riding, really, I think this is ideal for this kind of situation, this type of riding. Even your daily commuter, as long as I think if the ride isn't all interstate, you're gonna have a great time because it's super nimble, lightweight. I do like the seating position that this puts you in, like very upright and kind of sitting back some. With the mid controls, I do feel like you have plenty of control over this bike. I'm not sure which road I want to turn down first or first. Nah, let's turn down Broadway. Let's ride down Broadway here in downtown Columbus on a 2020 Iron 1200 rip around. We ain't gonna be stopping at no bars today. Bummer. Oh well. Thanks, pandemic. Just kidding. So other than the seating position, it's extremely comfortable, which, I was kind of impressed with once we started riding this bike, because I was kind of hesitant with the Sportster line just because it's smaller, and coming from a Dyna, I know it's not much difference, but like this 1200, it does seem like it has plenty of power to get up and move, have some fun. Super lightweight, easy to control and maneuver. It's a good, like, I don't want to say beginner bike because it is 1200 cc, so it's plenty of power, but a good bike to just have fun bouncing around in the city. I really enjoy downtown Columbus. Like, this place is a lot of fun just to come down with the camera and walk around and just take like cityscape shots. Like, plenty of opportunities down here with the camera. Haven't been down here in a while though, so kind of was not thinking it was gonna be this busy. Like, look at all the people out here. It's kind of nice to see somebody. But real quick, ergonomics of the bike, we already talked about, you know, seating position, how comfortable the ride is. All your controls on every single Harley Davidson is going to be about the same, minus yours, you know, with, you know, the baggers with the controls for the infotainment system, the bikes with the cruise control, which this bike does not have. But everything else, you know, left turn signal, right turn signal, your engine run off switch, your hazards, all that kind of stuff. Trip. Now, I was playing with this a little bit down here in the speedometer. You can see it gives me miles, it gives me trip A, trip B, time, gear, right? One thing that it does not do is how many miles you have left on this peanut tank, this small tank, which you don't need it, especially after riding the bike for a while. You get the own feel of everything and how things should be operating once it's your bike. But because it's not, I'm kind of, you know, little worried. Hopefully I don't run out of gas. Why would I come this way? I don't know why I came this way. White water rafting? Look at all these people having fun. Dangerous. The Chattahoochee. But let's get to the pros and cons of this Iron 1200 real quick while we're cruising around downtown Columbus. You know, I think as far as the pros go, it's a great entry-level bike, great beginner bike, and, you know, without discussing too much of the MSRP of this thing, it's an affordable bike. So it gets, you know, your, I guess I would say this probably is targeting the younger generation. This is very affordable to get you on a Harley Davidson, and it's a powerhouse of a bike for the size. That's gorgeous. Let's see if I stand. Oh man, that's pretty down there. And another pro is the handling of this thing, because it is so small and compact. I mean, I feel like almost, I don't know if you guys can see it at 360 camera, but I feel like I should be cornering this bike like a dirt bike, like sticking my foot out in corners, roosting up everybody. Although we're on concrete, you can't really roost on concrete, but I feel like that's, I don't know, if I wasn't following this car, I'd show you guys what I mean, maybe. But the handling is really, you know, nimble, lightweight, easy to throw around. We're not waiting, we're going. See what I mean? Like, really lightweight, throw it around, have some fun with the bike. That guy's probably like, what is that dude doing? No, I'm not drunk, sir. I'm just having fun on this Sportster. And third pro of this Sportster Iron 1200, I would say the seating position. I know I talked about the ergonomics of the bike and how comfortable I was seated in here in this riding position, but I really feel like the upright position with the mid controls, the bars, which we'll discuss later what I would do up here in the front, but it just sits you in that nice relaxed position to create that enjoyable ride. And with this bike, what I think, as far as being a beginner bike or entry-level bike or something, you know, that somebody gets to grow with, that's going to add confidence, right? I mean, sitting here 5'10", coming to a stop, completely flat-footed, so it is low to the ground, which is nice. Again, like I discussed, guys, like I'm 5'10", but a lot of my height is from the waist up, so my legs are shorter. So for me to be able to flat-foot a bike, bent knees, really that strong platform. Like, if you guys are looking at getting a Harley Davidson, but you're kind of, you know, intimidated by either weight or height or something, don't worry if you're looking at this Sportster, because this thing, I mean, you're not going to lose control of this thing at a stop unless you're like 4'2" and tiptoeing. Yeah, it's just a comfortable riding position. I enjoy it. I mean, which is surprising, guys. I mean, doing these test ride videos, I was really worried about some bikes, you know, to test ride, because I was like, you know what, if I'm not too into the bike as an individual, it's going to be hard to do a test ride. And I don't want these cons of the test ride videos to pull away from the bike because I'm a motorcycle lover. Regardless of the brand, I like anything two wheels. So although I'm doing cons here in a minute of this bike, just keep in mind they're just, you know, personal preference. And I've been riding for a while, so a lot of these, you know, won't be for somebody that's trying to get on a Harley Davidson for the first time, or even, you know, upgrade from one of the other street models to this thing to get a little bit more power. So in regards to the cons of this bike, I would say first and foremost, which is probably, you know, again, another easy way out. I feel like I do easy way outs all the time with the cons, but would be the size of the tank. And really, there's nothing that you could do to, I mean, I don't think there's anything that Harley could do to put a bigger tank on here because the size of the bike. So it just kind of goes with it. But yeah, like Reb was saying, you're definitely, if you're trying to ride long distances, you're going to be filling up quite a bit. And if you're riding with a group of people, like let's say you're taking a road trip or something with some buddies and they got, you know, bigger bikes or something, you're definitely going to be that guy in the group stopping quite a bit to fill up. But like I said, what we just got done doing, kind of, I mean, although it was really slow riding through there because it was busy today, this bike, riding it for the intended purpose, or what I think would be the intended purpose, you wouldn't have any issues. But again, you could stretch out and throw out miles, but the con, because the size of the tank, is you're going to be stopping quite frequently to fill up. So again, con number one, but based off of the type of bike this is and what it's intended to do, not necessarily a con, right? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. Now, con number two, which I think could be avoidable with doing some aftermarket parts. But although it does have mini apes, I do feel, you know, I know Reb said that you could, you know, tilt them forward to give you a little bit more reach or bring them back to you to kind of put them in your lap. How it rolls off the showroom floor is how I like to, you know, do the cons. And this bike, how it was, I feel like the bars, yes, they are, you know, a mini ape, but I would want something higher personally, which again, personal preference. So something that we could mitigate later on when we talk about modding this bike out. And con number three, although this is a 1200cc motorcycle, it does only have 5 gears, which in and around town, perfect. But if you're trying to throw down some longer miles, having a 6th gear, I feel, would be ideal for that. And then the gearing, I mean, to me, feels a little bit like you need to wind it out a little bit, kind of like a 2-stroke dirt bike, and just let it kind of RPMs increase higher than normal. Because I feel like when I'm shifting normally, what I'm used to from the Dyna, I'm kind of bogging each gear out, which after riding it for a while, you'll learn the bike, you'll learn the gears, you'll learn the RPM ranges that each gear performs its best at. Initially, taking this bike off the showroom floor, the gearing is just a little bit different for me, a little odd. But again, you know, this is, I think other than riding a Sportster for my rider safety course or to get my driver's license back in California, I haven't been on a Sportster since, and I do enjoy it. This bike is pretty fun. I really dig the decals over here on the side. That red, white, and blue old 70s style logo on there looks really crisp, really good. Kind of brings this bike a little bit nostalgic presence to it, which is cool. And from that logo, I already have in mind exactly how I would want to build this bike out if I were to purchase this for myself. And I'm sure you guys are already knowing where I would take this bike based off of the logo and based off the channel. And you see my Dyna Fat Bob with the white walls, right? So of course, if I were to get this bike, some modifications that I would do to it would definitely be to throw a set of white walls on this thing. I think it would be, you know, super clean to have some white walls on here, but wouldn't necessarily be one of the first mods, of course, because these tires, I wouldn't want to take off a brand new set of tires and drop like 500 bucks on new ones just because of the look. So white walls would come on this bike over a period of time, but not like one of the first mods. One of the first mod I would do would be to invest probably in some sort of handlebar setup. And the reason being is the vision that I have in mind for this bike, if I were to get it, would be kind of like, you know, that Dyna Bro look, the club style route. Although it is a Sportster, I feel like if I had something like this, I would want to get out there and have some fun with it. Maybe, you know, do some things that you wouldn't necessarily do on the streets that are legal. And, you know, kind of taking me back to my dirt bike feels, I would definitely want to go the club style route. Bring up like a set of T-bars, relocator kit on the speedometer to kind of set that up. A new fairing, definitely would do a new fairing, especially doing the club style route. Not necessarily sure which brand, but would want to do that. To get into some more modifications, of course, you know, to go with that club style route that I would want to take this bike to, would do a 2-in-1 exhaust on here, probably Two Brothers if they make it for a Sportster. Not too sure if they do. I haven't really looked into parts for this bike. All of these mods would be over time. Like this bike right now as it sits, I could see riding this for a few years without even having to do anything to it, because it is fun to ride. But like you guys know, I enjoy modding out my Harley Davidson, and I would really enjoy building out something like this. I mean, it would be a lot of fun, especially on the channel, to get like a Sportster Iron 1200 and do kind of like a bike build series, kind of like what Blockhead does. Would be really fun, man. And I think this would be like a good start to do something like that. Kind of have fun with it. Would keep the mid controls on there, maybe change them out, you know. But yeah, pretty cool little bike. I feel like I've had this bike a little too long today. Going into downtown Columbus, I thought it would be a good idea, guys, but it is a little bit of a ways from the dealership, and you know, you're just putting through there, so I probably won't do that test ride route ever again. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I mean, it is kind of cool to see new areas. Downtown Columbus is a pretty cool little spot to kind of go down and visit and walk through or ride through. But I think that's going to do it for today's video. If you like today's video, be sure to click that like icon, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button right here. And if you'd rather stick around and watch a few more of my videos, I'll throw up a video here and here. Like always, guys, I really appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in to another video, and this is MotoSarge signing out.